Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're on STV Edinburgh and STV Glasgow. The main headlines tonight to talk about: Joe Inge Berget comes back to haunt Celtic in the Champions League playoff first leg at Celtic Park last night. Rangers draw Livingston in the Petrofac Training Cup. And it's Chelsea who signed Pedro, not Manchester United. Just a few of the talking points on tonight's programme. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and I'm delighted to say our bootroom guest is former Celtic captain Tom Boyd. Well, let's cut to the chase. What did they do wrong last night that had almost, 50-odd thousand fans heading home from Celtic Park less than happy?
What they did wrong was concede that last-minute goal. That was the sort of game changer for what a lot of the supporters felt. I don't think I've ever come away from Celtic Park and people have been so disappointed, and yet we still win the game. But unfortunately, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's still only half-time, but the away goals could be crucial, and that, especially that one in that last minute. But I think they've still got everything to play for. Yeah.
Strangely enough, Tom, when I looked at the game, I mean, Berget, obviously, it was a delight for him. The reaction at the end from the fans and their players was quite clearly they think they can finish that job in Sweden.
Well, I think they do have a decent home record. I think on the evidence of their last game where they came back and beat Salzburg 3-0, I think that shows they're decent at home. But Celtic have got a decent record in Sweden, and I think they can go there and get something. They'll need to defend better than what they have done in recent games. You know, like 6 goals in 3 games, which is quite poor. But well, I always say that last-minute goals are, you know, when you get them, that you've done something, you've accomplished something, and I think for them to get so close, I think it's 3-1. I think they'd have probably held up, but you know, it is very, very tight, and it's very, very close one.
Yeah. Speaking to a number of former players last night, Ruffy, you know, in the first half, Celtic scored 2 goals. Suddenly, it looks as if it could be a hammering for Malmo. They stood off Celtic quite a bit. But in the second half, they pressed up. They started to get that wee bit of confidence. And as Tom mentioned there, you know, defending was sloppy. 3 of the back 4 at times, I thought, made crucial mistakes.
Yeah, as Tom will tell you, if you go into a big game like that and you lose 2 early goals, it sets you back about 20-25 minutes, you know, because you're conscious of losing another one. So that's probably why they were. But I think the goal that they got gave them a wee bit of belief. There's no doubt about that. You could see in their play. But as Tom said there, at 3-1 you would say game done. But when the final whistle went, there was only one team celebrating, and I'm sure when they went in the dressing room there was only one team celebrating as well. I'm sure Celtic would have been a bit despondent about the last goal, and they would have been overjoyed because they do believe that at home they're practically winning nearly every game, and they will be encouraged by that 3-0 result. So, but that may be a good thing for Celtic, because Celtic has proved they can go away from home now. They've progressed to go away into European football and get the result they need.
There were a number of positives. Lee Griffiths.
Yeah, I think that was a big talking point before the game in terms of would Lee Griffiths retain his place or would Chifchi come in? But I think obviously the evidence of Chifchi not having played domestic football for a few weeks, I think Griffiths got the nod, and I think that was quite right. I think he's cementing his place now as the main striker. I think for all games, not just you know, domestically, but certainly for European football, because he's a guy that is in form. A guy that can score so many different goals, not just with his feet, but you've seen last night he scored with his head. It was a fantastic goal, and showed determination. And for a wee guy, he's no bad in the air. He's quite good. Very Larsson-esque at times when he can jump. You know, he scored one just midweek or last week when he scored with a great header, and now another one. So. Yeah, he's adding that to his goal tally as well. He's certainly making sure that he's going to be the man in charge of the number 9 jersey.
Yeah, I was going to say steady, Tom, because you know you don't want to put the kiss of death on him. He'll be getting pelters in the dressing room.
Well, the good thing is he's not got number 7 in his back, so that's a lot of pressure on as well. We see Chifchi with that, but no, he is somebody who is probably in the best run of form he's in. You know, I know he did well at Hibs when he scored all those goals, but I think playing for Celtic, I think he's shown that he is, you know, he's meaning business here.
Yeah, I think it's a lesson to many of football. It doesn't matter where you're playing, Ruffy. You know, there was a period there where I thought there was a line in the sand where you're thinking Griffiths could leave Celtic, but he's buckled down, got his head together, and really, as Tom said, this is a purple patch for him.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. At one stage, it was the off-the-park stuff that was affecting him more than anything. Everything was going on about him, and whoever it was at Celtic Park has pulled him aside. They've had a word with him, told him what he's got to be like as a professional football player at Celtic. And in all fairness to him, he's buckled down. And as Tom said, I think he's twice the player he was before he went to Celtic. I think his overall game now, he's got pace, he's always had the confidence, you know, that cockiness, and he's scoring goals as well.
You think they're still short in the striking department?
I think away from home, I think when you get European football, Champions League football, particularly the next game is going to be tight, and that's when you need somebody special, when things are, you're just waiting on somebody getting you something. Tommy's already touched on Larsson, even Hartson to an extent, or Sutton could come up with that goal when it was nothing each, or you know, a free kick from nowhere. Somebody in this next game has to come up with something special for Celtic to give them the belief that it can show through this game. It might be Lee Griffiths. You know, he might be the man that does it.
Okay, if I'm going to, you know, highlight one negative that I always feel in the last 3 or 4 weeks, Tom, has been a problem. I thought Lustig gets sucked in for the first goal. Izagiri's distribution, he looks like a different player from the one, you know, pre the ankle injury. And I think Boyata plays some passes that, you know, would leave Celtic fans with their heart in their mouth. There's still a bit to go before they look like an organised back four.
Yeah, that may be a settling in period that Boyata has gone through at this moment in time. You know, we've seen so many players do that, where they've just had to find their feet, bed themselves in. You know, maybe Lee Griffiths is an example of that. He's now took his time, bided his time, waiting on the manager, give him that opportunity, and grasped it with both hands. Boyata has just occasional maybe lapses of concentration with his passing, which I think you know, he certainly puts him in a bit of trouble. But you know, last season Celtic had an absolute fantastic defence. It was setting records the whole season, and you know, they need to get back to that. They need to get solid as a unit to give them any kind of chance in the return or the next leg in Malmo. They've got to make sure a clean sheet is imperative, I think, you know, to be able to see them come through. Because I think if they don't do that, then you'll need to rely on the players like Griffiths getting you another goal, and it's more difficult away from home. But they could be the type of team that, you know, will be able to bed in and sit in and hit in the counter attack. We've seen James Forrest. I thought had one of his best games for Celtic for a long time, and you know, his pace, the counter attack football could be, you know, ideally suited in the kind of tactics that Celtic will use for that. So yes, we have a few of the failings, but you know, and that's maybe the Scottish nature. We do like to highlight the deficiencies, but I think we still win the game right enough.
Yeah, there's a valid point from Tom. Let me be the negative side of football, the cynical journalist in this, Ruffy. It's a £14 million minimum game in the return leg. Tom's right, Celtic are 3-2 in front. But I would suggest to you, if they can defend right, yes, by all means they can get the goal, and we all certainly hope for Scottish football they get there. And let me tell you, Ruffy, a lot of other clubs hope they get there too, because they all get a payment from the Champions League football. So it has implications for a number of clubs in the Premier League. But if they don't, the apathy towards the Europa League is there for all to see. You can pick your seat in the top tier.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and Celtic have been the carrier, you know, to give us European football right into January, February, and I think, as you said, most of the neutrals out there, when there isn't, whether you're supporting Celtic or not, you know, everybody loves seeing the big clubs coming to Parkhead, and you want to see these games whether you're at them or not, and yeah, they do carry a big burden, and I think we all hope that they can do it. Yeah.
Do you think they can do it, Ruffy?
Yeah, I do. I think they can do it. I think Malmo, although they'll be impressed with that 3-2, I still think they can lose goals at home. You know, I don't think they're invincible. I don't think they're one of the top clubs that Celtic used to play against at this stage. So I think they'll go there with confidence. But I think, as Tom said, it's all about what they do at the back. Conceding something early on would be very dangerous.
Yeah. Prediction?
I'm going to go for one each.
Tom?
0-0. See you through.
Okay.
I'll be happy with that.
Okay, let's see if Tom Boyd and Ruffy are in as much of a positive mood in the second part of the programme. Who would have thought Peter and Ruffy's football show, everybody in a positive frame of mind? You can interact with us at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter and also facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy. Give us your thoughts on the game Celtic are facing in Sweden. We're also going to talk Petrofac Training Cup. Rangers into the next round, they face Livingston. We'll look at the draw in its entirety, and also we will talk about that deal Chelsea have Nick Pedro from Manchester United. It's all coming up next. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Don't forget you can join us on STV Edinburgh and STV Glasgow Monday to Friday at 6:30. And if you miss it, you can get in there at 10:30 for the repeat. Although if we give a prediction, Ruffy, sometimes at 6:30 it can look mightily silly by the time you watch the repeat later on in the evening. Hopefully you're enjoying the programme. Delighted that Tom Boyd is our guest, and he's been looking back over Celtic's 3-2 win. Let's not forget in that first leg against Malmo, but the Swedes will certainly feel as if they have the chance to put Celtic out at the group stage, the playoff draw stage, and then leave Celtic looking at Europa League. Give us your thoughts on that as well. Petrofac Training Cup, Ayr couldn't slow down Rangers. They managed to get yet another win, Ruffy, 2-0.
Yeah, another comfortable win. Everything's going well on the park at Rangers. Are scoring goals and entertaining as well. Different style of football this year. Fans are more than happy with what they're seeing. Sometimes you get into Somerset, it can be quite a tight pitch to play on. You can get quite a hard game, but they've come through it quite comfortably and got a favourable draw.
Yeah, I think the key, Tom, as you well know, is fans will always cut you some slack if you're putting in the effort. If you know, the football, they want it to be entertaining as well. And as Ruffy mentioned there's a different style to Rangers this season. Mark Warburton, you know, has got them playing the way I think a lot of Rangers fans would like to have seen them play maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago.
I think it's a very valid point in what you're saying there. I think this is what the kind of football they should have started way back. At the bottom division, come in and be ready. They would have probably made the top division last season if they'd have been playing that style of football, but they didn't for whatever reason. And you know, they've started this season on fire. Yeah, United did very well last night to keep it down to 2, I think. You know, so that was certainly a bonus for them. But as you say, they're just rolling on. I think they should win that league this season very comfortably because of the style of football. If they can maintain that. Normally you get Rangers starting very well and then as it goes on it sort of dwindles a little bit, but I think if they can maintain this then they should win it very comfortably. Yeah,
and as ever, Ruffy, we always like a back page headline, a spat between managers, and Mark Warburton didn't hold back, just telling Alan Stubbs to shut up and concentrate on his own team.
Well, I think there's been a lot going on behind the scenes with both managers. We're led to believe that every time a bid went in, Alan Stubbs was on the phone to tell the Rangers manager to stay away. So they're obviously a wee bit of verbal between the two of them. There's no doubt about that. And even till the last moments when Scott Allan was going to Celtic, we're led to believe that Rangers were still actively trying to get him to wait and sign a pre-contract. So there's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and the two people who really know what was being said are the two managers. So I don't know if Alan will raise the bait before the weekend, obviously with a big game coming up. So it's actually added a wee bit of fuel to the game. You know, it doesn't really need it, to tell you the truth, but I'll roll on, and there'll obviously be maybe a wee bit more.
Yeah, nice little edge to it now, and it really is game of the weekend, Rangers against Hibernian. Everybody's been looking forward to it. If anything, is it fair to say that Rangers go into it as favourites, Tom?
Oh, without question, yeah. After their last result at Easter Road, where they put 6 past the Hibs, you know, and that's away from home. So, and the style of football that we have been playing has continued in that vein. So. Yeah, there is as confident as they can be at this moment in time. There's a lot of variation in play, a lot of trickery. and a lot of skill, and as you say, playing the right way in the right manner. And that could prove difficult for Hibs to handle that, because defensively I think they're struggling a little bit just now. So, but they might have got a wake-up call for that, win that game, and that you know, it's a time to do it in the Petrofac Cup rather than being in the league position, and I'm sure they'll improve though. Yeah,
it just shows you the progress that's been made under Mark Warburton, that suddenly you have a game like that where everybody thought Hibs, who have almost a settled side with a little tweak here and there from Alan Stubbs, but Rangers, from the 5 or 6 weeks that Mark has had a chance to work with the squad to now going into a game at Ibrox, where I think Rangers fans will go there in great numbers, Ruffy, expecting a victory on Saturday.
Yeah, I think they will, in light of the last result. The difference between last year and this year with Rangers is they've obviously got a lot of new players in. They haven't had any setbacks at all. They're all, as Tom said, they're all going out there with confidence. They're winning every game with confidence. Whereas last year there was maybe a couple of wee games where they were drawn against Dumbarton or drawn against, and the pressure was on a wee bit. There isn't any pressure for Rangers just now, because nobody has come up with anything to put them under pressure. So until that time happens, I'm sure they will keep continuing playing good football.
Yeah, don't go on the Saturday, by the way. It is actually the Sunday, but I was looking forward to it either way. But do you fancy them to win the game, Ruffy, or do you think Hibs can cause a shock?
No, I don't think Hibs have got themselves sorted out yet. Obviously, the defeat against Dumbarton and 1-0 against Morton wasn't that convincing, so I think Alan would probably go there and settle for a draw. I think he might still want to bring some other players in, but Hibs don't look the finished article yet.
They were slow to start last year, Hibs. If you look at their score and the results, and maybe they're just taking that wee while they're settling down. And the difference, obviously, this year for Rangers is there's certainly usefulness and enthusiasm about their style of play as they get up and go, and they certainly look to be a lot more confident than they were last season. So they're certainly improved dramatically.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the Petrofac Training Cup draw, which was made earlier today. There's Peterhead against Stenhousemuir, Rangers against Livingston, St Mirren against Dunfermline, and Queen's Park against Elgin City. Now, Ruffy, St Mirren against Dunfermline for me is a cracker, because Dunfermline can do no wrong.
No, you're right, and it's good that these two teams have been drawn together, because it gives the other 4 teams from the lower division a chance to get a semi-final. I think it's always good when that happens, that there's even Queen's Park have got the chance to do that, and but I think you're right, that is the big game. And again, we're all talking about Dunfermline, unstoppable so far, but I think St Mirren will give them a good game.
Yep, so that's the draw. At Peter and Ruffy on Twitter, give us your view on not only the Petrofac, you might want to talk about Celtic's return leg in the Champions League, and you can also go on facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy as well. And just on the point there of me mentioning Rangers Hibs on the Saturday, it's actually the Sunday, brings me to another point, Ruffy, which is Aberdeen fans have been moaning. They want more notice of games being shifted, because the one thing about it is, games are constantly shifted, and I think the Dons fans have been mentioning today that they feel as if football supporters should be given more notice so that they can plan, travel, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time, because games, Tom, even from your day, have been shifted. Now you get Friday night games Saturday, Sunday and Monday.
I think the problem for the early part of the campaign is Aberdeen's Europa League ventures, which obviously every game plays on a Thursday, and subsequently Celtic suffered that season and had very few kick-offs at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. But as you say, a lot of times because of that Europa League, you want to do well, that happens, you get more games, and then they have to change. But television rules the roost now with that, and you've got a couple of TV companies dictating that you won't be 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Obviously there's a rule there set in place that you cannot allow to show a game at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, so that's why I have to adjust. But yeah, as you say, it's just the fans lose out. How we change that, I don't think there's an answer. I do not think there's an answer, especially when you want to get the money from television companies and you want to make sure and try and improve your squad, and you have to take that. So it's not going to change. There I look and seeing Manchester United playing Friday night games, which you would never have heard of. Premiership games now being played on a Friday night. So I just probably want football on every single night of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. If you'd, I remember people were up in arms if there was a live game on television in the 70s, Ruffy, they were going crazy.
Yeah, and I think about it as well. I think if the Scottish teams were offered £80 million, they'd want to play on a Friday night as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what you looked like, Ruffy, until the chewing gum card came out. I didn't even know, what you looked like until the live television came along, and there you were, just strutting your stuff with the mullet and the blonde hair. But
Except before the term, yeah.
yeah, oh, that was before the
term.
He's now gone back to the mullet. What about Pedro? Talking about Manchester United, what about that deal, Ruffy? I mean, if Louis van Gaal's not kicking himself now, Chelsea have nipped in there £21 million.
Yeah, but Man United already thrown out the spin that we'd cooled on him. We went off him a wee bit. Obviously we're getting the good result in the Champions League there, the playoff. But he's a quality player. Again, as I spoke about it the other night, he's different for the big time strikers that Chelsea have had. The big, powerful centre forward, 6'4", and they seem to be going down the Barcelona way. Small strikers, midfield players, nippy, passing on the ground, and I'm sure he'll be great to watch. Yeah,
absolutely. Great to have Tom Boyd in the studio. Of course, we always like a little bit of competition. Ruffy and Boydie are going to play golf over the next couple of days, and we're going to bring you the result of that. One of them plays off 12, one of them plays off 14. Who's going to be the victor? Stick with us on Peter and Ruffy's Football Show over the next couple of days, and I'll bring you the news. But thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30.